everybody, good afternoon and welcome to my lovely little StreamYard broadcast. So I've got to be honest, I was excited because I got accepted on LinkedIn live streaming this morning and I wanted to give it a little go to see how it works. So and just playing about, and I've got a little bit of time this afternoon, so I wanted to come along and really talk to you about how to start selling your shares, be that online or otherwise. And it's a similar process, whether you're using content online, whether you're using your social media, whether you're using your email, it's all the same. And it starts with the same process. So a lot of commonality, just going to have a cup of tea, not a cup of tea, sip of tea. Say hello if you're here. Hello, Rachel. How are you, my darling? So I wanted a commonality that I've been hearing lately, and lots of people say, not just in my arena, but other people's arenas. And I was talking on the fabulous Danny Wallace's show. If you haven't checked out Danny Wallace, go and check her out. I am the Queen Bee. She's got the IQT Beehive. And also, I had the pleasure of going after the amazing Sam Barefoot, who has got her new course come out called Make Me Instagram Famous. So go and check that out. She is I Am Sam Barefoot on Instagram. If you don't follow Sam, do that because she is amazing. And her reels are just make you let a little bit of wee out your pants. So go and check her out, and her link and all that stuff is in her bio. Okay, so talking about sales. So it's the same process for everything. And I'm glad you're good, Rachel, my darling. It's the same process everywhere, really. And a lot of the time, what happens is when we're in scarcity mode or lack mode and we go, I need to make more money, or I haven't got enough leads this month, or cash is a bit tight, or something's coming up, or whatever it is, we then go and act out of fear. And oftentimes our first instinct when we act out of fear is to go and do stuff. I just need to be doing things. Or the opposite, which is overwhelm and procrastination and do nothing. And do like me when I have those days, sit in front of the telly, watch like reruns of episodes and eat Ben and Jerry's. So that's my tactic when I procrastinate and overwhelm. And it happens to all of us, right? We all have bad days. However, you know, if you actually are committed to making this thing called your business work, then it's not going to happen by, in my case, my most recent one was watching back-to-back Line of Duty, eating Ben and Jerry's, and feeling sorry for myself for a day. Don't do that. That's not going to bring you business. So come and have a cup of tea with me. Comment wherever your comments are, and let me know how you're doing. Right, so my first tip really is for anything. If you want to make more money, is you've got to get clear. Right, you've got to get really clear. So what's your intention? What's your one thing, and I mean one thing, that you want to sell? What's your intention behind it? Like, how many people do you want to sell that thing to? So you might only want 5 clients or 2 clients or 1 client or whatever. Or you might have something bigger planned and you want to get 200, 500,000, 10,000, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's all the same. You have to get clear on your intention. What do you want to do? Now, obviously, if you only want to sell 5 things, I would have probably a very different strategy to if I wanted to sell 10,000 things, right? But, and selling lesser numbers is easier because you can do a lot of direct contact or speak to people you know, etc., right? So it's all follows a process and a strategy. And this is why we have to get clear. We have to get intentional with what it is we want to sell, how many we want to sell, how much money we want to make, and plan it out. So when you plan it out, it's like, where are you going to promote that? Right? Where are you going to promote that? How are you going to market it? Are you going to be using your emails? You should, because even still today, emails are the highest way of converting sales out of trumping all social media. And have a plan for doing that. Right? And look at it and be intentional about it. Knowing your numbers is one of the most important things in business, because if you don't track it, you don't know what's happening. You don't know what's working. You don't know what's not working. You don't know how much money you're making. All of that stuff. And even like to track your money every day, or to track your numbers, to look at the prospects you've got, who you've talked to, who you need to follow up, all of that stuff. And it might seem boring and admin-y. And trust me, admin is my least favourite. But if you don't know your numbers, you can't evaluate how you are. It's not measurable. And to have real results, they need to be measurable. And if you're not looking at statistics like insights to social media and all that stuff, then you don't know what works. Right. Number 2 is get focused. Get really focused. And that means whatever you're selling, you want to be gearing whatever you're doing, however you're showing up, even on your personal profiles, around that thing you're selling. So, for example, I've got a challenge at the moment. You can see at the bottom, there's a scrolling link to my challenge. So you can go to that link and you can get involved in my challenge for free. Now, not unashamedly, on that challenge, for people that want to, and most importantly, people that are ready, I'll be offering my Sales Made Simple course, which is a 90-day course to help you do all of this stuff in abundance with my explicit and present support to do that, right? So that's what I'll be doing. And that is the only thing I'm focusing on, hence it's the only link here, the only thing I'm talking about in terms of my stuff, right? And it's about getting focused on that. And you'll notice, if you look on any of my platforms, all I've been talking about is stuff about sales. So how you improve your mindset, how you value your time, how you own that you're the prize, all of that stuff, how you keep it simple. And that's what my challenge is about. My challenge is about, because I'm focused and I've got clear on my intention, my numbers, what I want to do, I know that my challenge is about sorting out your mindset, owning the fact that you're the prize, having a plan to sell one thing, going and actually selling stuff, and converting more consistently, right? So this is my focus. So this is all that is going out in my emails, all that's going out on my social, because the truth is, if you're not focused on that one thing, what happens is people get confused. It's like, what do I do? Where do I go? What should I be doing? What's she talking about? And then what happens is a confused mind never buys. So when people are confused, they're not going to buy any of your stuff. And trying to sell everything, you're not going to sell anything. And I've done a quick, I think it's a reel or something like that about that the other day. So focus is really important. So where are you going to apply your focus? Either do it to one platform well, if you're confident on a certain platform, maybe you try another platform, whatever, doesn't matter. But you have to have a focus and a plan for that. Number 3 is you need to commit, right? And commitment is bandied about a lot. But yes, you can be committed, but then you might not take action. So you've got to commit to showing up. And this means doing things that make you uncomfortable, right? So you might not like lives. You might be uncomfortable like me with your spelling and grammar. I'm not very good at it, but I don't care anymore. It's more important that I put it out anyway. Right? And a lot of people say to me, why are you so confident? You're naturally confident. I am not. This girl you see here is a result of consistent practice over the last however many years, 20 plus years of being in the working, training world, in that I have honed myself to be more extrovert, right? So naturally, not many people know this, I'm an introverted person. So when I'm around lots of people, I'm quite shy and I tend to retreat, and that's me, and that's the truth. If I'm on stage, slightly different, because I'm there to serve, right? And not by on stage, I mean either on a live or doing my content or physically on stage, then that's when I'll show up and people think I'm a massive extrovert. I am not. You know, coming off the stage, however you might see that, I need to retreat and relax a little bit, because it exerts a lot of energy from me, right? So naturally, I'm an introverted extrovert. So I've had to learn how to be this way. And of course, initially, when I started to do this, it was massively uncomfortable, hugely uncomfortable. The first time I ever did a video, like I made the mistake of watching it back, cringe, but it was awful. But I've done thousands and thousands of videos, so I've got better at it. Not perfect, not the best. Just a little disclaimer there. But I've certainly got better at it and more comfortable with it is the most important thing, right? So you've got to commit to showing up, especially if it makes you uncomfortable to do so. Because the way we grow anything, our confidence, our business, our following, whatever it might be, is to practice it consistently, especially if it makes you uncomfortable. And especially you feel you're not consistent with what you're doing. It's like, we'll get consistent. And if you're not earning the funds at the moment to be able to pay someone else to do it, you've especially got to do it until you're earning the funds to pay someone else to do it, right? So you've got to commit to showing up. Number 4, I mentioned it a little bit before, is get uncomfortable. The way we get better at anything is doing anything that makes us uncomfortable. The best way to increase your confidence quick smart is doing something every day that makes you feel uncomfortable, or doing something every day that you've been procrastinating on. That could be working on your sales, asking someone for money, following up on conversations you've had that you haven't heard from, sliding into people's DMs, whatever it might be. Do the things that make you uncomfortable. That might be your health. You might be feeling really tired or meh. So is it that you need to get uncomfortable by getting outside and going for a walk? Is it that you need to get uncomfortable by cutting back on the old Ben and Jerry's? Is it is it that you need to get uncomfortable by doing a video? And by the way, there is nothing wrong. In fact, it's better if you're uncomfortable with doing certain things. Let's say video, because I've picked that out. By getting on a video and saying, this actually makes me feel really uncomfortable, and I'm sharing that with you because I want you to know that it's not easy for me, but I'm doing my best, and then crack on with content. Number one, that's going to make you feel less disingenuous. And number two, it allows you to go, take a breath, relax, and just do it anyway. And number three, most importantly, being vulnerable is what helps us build rapport and relationships with other people. So it's so important for you to just be honest. And vulnerability is just as, if not more important than credibility. Credibility is important. You've got to know what you're doing. And have faith and confidence in what you do can help someone. Of course you do, right? Otherwise you're a bit of a charlatan. But, and I know you're not a charlatan because you're watching it. So credibility is important, but vulnerability is just as, if not more important, because it's talking about our mistakes, talking about our losses, talking about the things we haven't done so well, which builds rapport with other people. Right? As long as you're not doing it from a victim status, as long as you're saying, I know what it feels like to do X, and this is how I resolved it, that's valuable, because I might be in a position called X, and you'll show me how to do it. Really important. Number 5 is ask for help. Now, a lot of us, including me, are not great at asking for help, and it might feel shameful, or it might feel embarrassing, or just uncomfortable because we're not used to doing it. But asking for help is really important. You know, this last week I've been speaking to people, lots of people, about speaking in the groups, how I can help their platforms, talking about my challenge, etc. And people have been very gracious and kind. And the most beautiful thing about that is not the result of being able to speak in other communities. That weren't the important bit for me. The most fun bit, the bit that brought me joy, the bit that made my heart sing, was being able to connect with people that I haven't connected before. Connection is really important, right? And we all know, like, we all think, oh, I hate asking for help, or you might think that, you might not think that, you might love asking for help. I hope you do. But it can feel really uncomfortable asking for help. But actually, when you think about it, when people ask you for help, you're delighted to be able to help them, and it gives you joy helping them. So just remember that oftentimes, especially if you give help a lot, people will be delighted to be able to give you help in return. And that help might be sending messages to people, say, hey, I'm looking to do this, or your contacts, or get out your phone or your email, whatever. I'm looking to do this, or offer this thing, or got this coming up. Do you know anyone that would be interested in learning about 1, 2, 3 to get 4, 5, 6 results? If you do, I'd be really grateful if you could pass them on to me. Now, they may know people that have it, but it might be them that needs that help, and it just sparks off that conversation. So asking for help is really important, and you'll notice that whenever you've done that, like it could be, I'm bringing out a new book. Do you prefer this front page or this front page? We love it. We love to help, and we love to be able to contribute. And contribution is one of the massive things that humans love to do. So never be afraid to ask for help. Now, number 6, and my final point, and you can see this is not perfect because my words aren't always coming out right, and that's okay, because I'm okay to be vulnerable. I do have a common accent. I do say random words. I don't spell things correctly, and I don't care, because it's more important that I show up and commit to doing that to help you than what I look like, what my words are like, the condition of my background, etc. So number 6 is offer. So obviously, if you want to sell stuff, you've got to offer it to people. And that, by simple definition, is asking people to buy it, right? So if you know you've had a conversation, a credible enough conversation to establish whether you could help someone, then why not offer them your stuff, right? And there's a saying that goes something like, ad-libbing, that there's 10,000 people out there that have woken up this morning wanting help and could really do with that offer that you have. And I like to say, put my spin on it, is that you're really actually being so selfish by not offering them the thing that you have, because it's unfair. You're doing someone a massive disservice if you know that you've got something that if someone implemented it, it could really help them to solve the problem called X that they've got. Why would you not offer them it? That's massively selfish. So it's about not taking the perspective of not looking at things being you selling to people or asking people for money. It's not about you. It's about the other person. You've made your thing, your product, your service, your widget, your doodad to help people, right? So the only way you can help them is to get them to do it. And money is just another way of someone committing to doing something. They're putting their money where their mouth is and going, right, I commit to doing that. But of course, your point of establishing when you sell something, the whole thing you want to establish is whether they're ready. So if they're ready, they want to do this and they want that transformation that you're offering, why would you not say to them, here it is, here's what it costs. Love for you to buy it. There you go. So they're my 6 tips. I'll just okay back in and just let you know them again. Number 1 is get clear. Be really intentional. Know your numbers and plan it out. Number 2 is get focused. So how are you going to sell it, and get focused in how you're doing that. And that could be content, email, social, whatever, wherever you're showing up. Number 3 is commit to showing up. So absolutely commit. And number 4 is especially if that makes you uncomfortable. So do things that make you uncomfortable. And I promise, if you commit, if you focus, commit, and do things that make you uncomfortable, you can't help but win. Number 5 is ask for help. Contact people to help you. Ask them if they know anyone. Ask people if that you can benefit their communities in any way. Lots of different ways of asking for help. And number 6, finally, is offer. Make sure you're offering your stuff frequently, because if you don't tell them they can buy it, guess what? They ain't going to buy it. So I would love to hear, absolutely love to hear your feedback on that. What bit of that maybe do you need to work on? And of course, any questions you've got. So let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear them. I'm going to pop off now. I've got some calls to do and things like that. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your Friday. And thanks for tuning in to my broadcast. Sending you lots of love. Oh, and lastly, if you are looking to get really confident on your sales, improve your mindset, own the fact that you are the prize and you have got the goods to offer someone the transformation they need, click the link below, nataliebarry.cartridge.com/page/simple sales. Bit of a long link, but it gets you there. It's also in any of my profiles. So you click in any of my profiles, you'll find a link for that. And I'd love to have you. It's the only place where you can access me for free, my total unbridled attention for you to help you get selling. And we'll actually be selling your shizzle in that week. So if you want to really focus on improving your sales, get in the challenge. I would love to see you there. Thank you, Rachel. And have a lovely rest of your Friday and a great weekend. Mwah!